Hello. Welcome. There are things you unlock when you become a level 80 culinarian or craftsman. And let's get through those. So, yeah. You strike me as someone who isn't afraid to get her hands dirty, and I don't mean that as a euphemism. Are you interested in a bit of good old fashioned hard work? But perhaps I'm getting ahead of myself. I am Gringe, one of the Charlian Gleaners. It is our role to procure materials, samples, knowledge, all you can imagine and more. Naturally, it would be difficult of any one person to comb the world each time our countrymen ask something of us. Thus did we form a guildship, the better to share the information and see the requests we receive to the hands of those best suited to fulfilling them. Some requests, for instance, are better assigned to those who demonstrate a certain degree of finesse or persistence, and the callousness upon your hands tell me that you are one such person. I understand that you may feel some trepidation given the somewhat lax selection process, as you like as not suspect the forum would never officially recognize a traveler from another nation as a gleaner. Unofficially, however, we're up to our necks in requests of late, and they're coming in faster than ever before. We'll take any talent we can get and pay good coin for it, so please, tell me you're interested. Okay, another expansion, another leaves unlocked. So there's that one. I'm curious what the faculty is. And I have a feeling this is unlocking the role quest for crafters for Endwalker. So I'm gonna do the faculty first. It's you. You're one the scholar was telling us about. Yo, yes? Brilliant. Just the woman I was hoping to see. As I'm sure you're aware, the Studium is the most prestigious educational institution in all of Charlian. As such, we make a point of only working with the best educators and students. The gleaners we employ are also held to the same high standards, of course, which is perhaps why it has been so difficult to find the assistance we need of late. Surely you understand the trouble of finding competent and capable help. That you come here suggests you are willing to lend a hand, no? I'm certain you would have much to gain from working with us if so. Do let me know should you commit to lending your services to the Studium. I should warn you, however, there is much I must explain ere we begin, so please be certain you have sufficient time to spare. Now, allow me to explain our work here. Professors and students from our many faculties gather and searchers meet in order to do business with and recruit reputable individuals such as yourself. Allow me to briefly introduce those who are here at present. Here we have Boric from the Faculty of Archaeology. Oh, this is the role quest for crafters. He works as an assistant to one of Professor Rusha and is currently seeking a skilled metal worker to help restore an ancient relic. Then there's Jude, who belongs to the Faculty of Astronomy. He seems to be looking for an artisan to be able to work with leather, cloth, or wood, but he wouldn't tell me much more than that. He's awfully shy, you see. Next we have Debroe, a student studying in the Faculty of Medicine. I'm fairly sure she's carrying out research under the supervision of Professor Gelver Roach. In any case, I hear she's after someone who knows a thing or two about medicine and nutrition. And here's Hingashi of the Faculty of Anthropology. She told me she's searching for botanists and miners at present. By the sounds of it, she and Professor Taklin are dealing with a formidable task. Last but not least, this is Professor Tilakwatia, an associate professor in the Faculty of Aetherology. I heard he's in need of a fisher to help him conduct research for his thesis. Unfortunately, things do not seem to be progressing well for him at the moment. I'd say those 5 are the ones in most in need of supplementary aid. I'll leave it to your discretion as to who you choose to help, although be forewarned, academics can be something of an odd bunch. Just be sure not to leave anyone in the lurch after you've agreed to help them. Well, might as well start it. Well, let me see something first. I'm curious as to what that quest is now. You are, pray forgive my directness, but you are none other than Madame's son, are you not? It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance. I'm Merrill, a humble servant of House Leviner. I have heard that you are an exemplary artisan. Is this true? If so, I should hope that you will be intrigued by my proposal from my employer. You see, Lady Emilians has been focused on a rather important social welfare endeavor of late, and seeks the aid of an artisan possessed of talent commensurate to the task at hand. The glint in your eyes tells me you wish to know more, so I invite you to speak with her in person. As fortune would have it, she is available at this very moment. You needn't say another word. I shall arrange a seat for you under the House Levenular reservation. Pray make your way to the last stand at your earliest convenience, and await Lady Emilance's arrival. Yo, I presume it was Mirrodid who sent you hither? Oh wow. Lured by the prospect of fresh endeavors, no doubt. I myself am guilty of the same. Our Lady Levianeur's correspondence has been full of the most tantalizing hints of late. Surprise, surprise. What, not happy to see me? Relax, the same I venture. I'm here at Flemin's invitation. At the very least, I insist you join us for a cup of tea. Do sit down. I see. So the studium is to begin accepting foreign students, is it? Yes, as you know, Charlene has long closed its borders and avoided interfering with the affairs of other nations, bound by a single-minded focus to secure the safety of the peoples of the star. With the final days averted, the need for such drastic measures has dissipated. It took an awfully long time in the near end of the world, but the winds of change have begun to blow. Charlene is trying to become an open nation. That said, not all students can afford the costs incurred by studying abroad, let alone the steep price of the studium's tuition. I can scarcely imagine how those from nations who suffered the worst of the final days might attempt such a feat. To ease the financial burden, I plan to offer all necessary school supplies free of charge. Furthermore, I have already begun talks with a number of Charlene families to propose an academic homestead program. My, what a lovely initiative. The good old-fashioned cultural exchange is sure to be a mutually enlightening experience for the many Charlians who remain cooped up with their dusty old tomes. Such is my hope. Alas, you will recall that a great deal of the Levianeer fortune was poured into outfitting the Ragnarok, yes? As such, I cannot hope to carry out this endeavor long term without a financial backer, a partner, if you will. I'm all for noble causes, but you can't possibly be suggesting we provide everything for free. Ah, but of course I am. Were I to require students to repay the sum of their tuition after graduating, a sum few could afford, it would be no different from a loan after all. I see. Well, I wish I could help, but with no prospect of income, I must respectfully decline your offer. It's not my intent to be rude, but I run a business, not a charity. I completely understand. Recently, I find myself reminiscing over the time I spent in the Dravanian hitherlands. The children, and myself. We were all so happy living in the Emporium. Idle thought it may be now. The town was once tremendously effervescent, filled to the brim with inquiring souls who traveled from every corner of Eorzea in pursuit of knowledge. Of course, it was not solely protective students and researchers who journeyed there. Far from it. As a hub for seekers of knowledge, no small few merchants made a living by procuring research supplies. In turn, they had immediate access to a reservoir of cutting-edge inventions. Come to think of it, I dare say my contract at the East Eldern Trading Company will be intrigued to hear of similar possibilities arising from our program. It was so very kind of Tataru to introduce us. The East Eldern Trading Company. Hold on a minute now. What the hell could possibly be giving this woman the confidence to act so bafflingly indifferent? Her husband's supposed to be a bigwig in that forum of theirs, ain't he? Stands to reason she may have heard rumblings of Charlian investing deeper in its education system. And in that case, it'd be wiser to invest now to reap the benefits later. Better yet, the students who end up attending will be the best and brightest of their respective nations. If I make them feel indebted to me now, they'll be obligated to repay the favor in the future. Once they become powerful, distinguished members of society, of course. I will also have need of a skilled artisan to procure the necessary supplies. No doubt the demand is sure to be immense. Goodness, just look at me prattle on when you have no interest in the matter. I really must be getting on home. Countless preparations need to be made ere my distinguished guest arrives. Hold that thought. I've come around to your proposal. I, and as your partner, their House of Splendor pledges its considerable support for your endeavor. An investment for the future, let's call it. That is, on one condition. Yo must be the sole supplier. My, how fortuitous. I did not expect you to pledge your support, but full glad am I that you have. Together we can give countless students the opportunities they deserve. But what say you, Yo? Would you be able to spare some time from this seemingly infinite number of responsibilities that require your attention? Wonderful. I'm counting on both of you. That was an interesting noise. Flim and Renoa have already left if you're wondering. They intend to do some sightseeing in town before returning home. I do hope you were able to enjoy our tea time together. I can think of none more deserving of a brief respite. I must apologize, however, for dragging you into this matter. You deserve a full explanation, but not here. Would you care to meet me at my home? Splendid. I shall be waiting you at Levianer Estate. Okay. Thank you for humoring me, yo, and welcome once again. For years, I've supported my children from afar as a sponsor of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Yet, even though the Scions have disbanded, it has done little to diminish my desire to be of service. That is why I decided to it is past time I made my own contribution to the world. To this star that you and my children have sacrificed so much to save. But I am merely one person, my resources limited. Words can ill express how grateful I am for your aid. In time, I hope you will come to see me not as a mother of Alphanode and Alice, but as your partner and friend. As I said before, I am counting on you, yo. Now there is, in fact, another reason I invited you here. The Levianer household will also be partaking in the homestead program, and I have already accepted a student. She comes from a family of accomplished alchemists hailing from Thavnir. Merrill has already gone to fetch her from the port, so I imagine she will arrive ere long. Lady Emiliance, I pray I do not keep you waiting over long. Miss Muladin has arrived. Nice to meet you. I am Muladin, freshly arrived from Thavnir. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Oh, the pleasure is all mine, I'm sure. You must be utterly exhausted after such a long voyage. I am Emiliance, and standing behind me is none other than... Oh, I know. It's Mistress Alize, isn't it? Huh. I'm afraid not, my dear. This charming personage besides me is in fact Yo, my business partner, better known as the hero who saved our star from the final days. Ah, I'm so sorry, it was rude of me to presume. I have heard much and more of your many heroic deeds in Thavnir, but I've never had a face to put to the name. Putting that aside, it is a dream come true for me to finally stand in the magnificent halls of the stadium. I could collapse with happiness on this very spot. With these dignified walls surrounding me, I feel as though I stand in the very annals of history itself. My mind wanders to countless brilliant minds who made discovery after discovery here. Miss Muladin, I'm afraid it is not the studium, but the Levianer estate in which you stand. This residence shall be your lodgings for the duration of your stay. It may take some getting used to, but it is my wish that you come to feel at home here. This is your home? Though I have much to learn, and though of your present impression of me fills me with dread, the thought of your present impression of me fills me with dread. I hope that we can get along. Oh, you needn't be so formal. Tell me, what can we do to make you feel more comfortable? I know. Please call me Mila. That's what my folks back home call me. While Maleden is usually reserved for when I'm in trouble. Pray forgive me, but I'm afraid I must continue to observe formalities. Miss Milladine, if it pleases you, I shall escort you to your room. A number of the other families will also be opening up their homes to students from abroad in the coming days. I must set a good example as the first host mother, for if all goes to plan, we can expand the program to include even more students. Let us waste no time. There is plenty of work to be done. Classes at the studio will begin once students have had time to settle in. I would like to use this period to procure all of the necessities needed for their matriculation. You may find any materials you need by speaking with Sinove, the apothecary, in the Agoria. Let us give the students the welcome they deserve. Nice. I'm never gonna do that, but that's nice. Okay. So let me see if I can find what's her face. Huh. Yeah. Okay, so that's done. Let's see what that's about. Pray see that it is done. Thank you for your unwavering service. Oh, that'll be good. I didn't see you there. I trust you have been well, and the twins? Or perhaps I should reintroduce myself. Our first meeting was passing brief, after all. My name is Theopolitan, and I oversee the researchers in Labyrinthos. During the final days, you and the Legionnaire children assisted me in exchange for stories about their mother and father, although I'm sure the issue of the Aether Burner weighed heavier on your mind than personal anecdotes at the time. You scions truly managed to do the impossible. Our star owes you its salvation. Moreover, your spectacular voyage through the great expanse has driven our researchers to pursue greater heights of development and innovation. We don't have another apocalypse happening, right? Not so far as I'm aware. No, for a blessing that what we currently concern ourselves with is in Labyrinthos is far less dire. Would you care to join me below? You can see for yourself what our researchers have been busying themselves with these days. Our gleaners have just delivered some missives that I must distribute, and I would be greatly honored by your company. Marvelous. I have no doubt your presence will brighten many a day. In that case, where might we begin? Ah, yes. Why don't we pay Margaret a visit first? Quite gregarious, that one. Always eager to share her opinions. Her laboratory is on the eastern side of Charlene Hamlet, so let us be off. This is the place. Let's see if she's in. Can I help you with something? Yes, in fact, my apologies for intruding upon your break, but is Margaret available for a chat? Oh, no, left for this or else, I think. She mentioned something about a request or getting something off her chest. I couldn't say for sure. Thesaurus is a collective that oversees the allocation of research material. So naturally, they have a branch here in Charlene Hamlet. From quills to guild ship commissions, Thesaurus is a one-stop provider of countless invaluable services. They are committed to ensuring our researchers have what they need to perform their work effectively and efficiently. I am sure Margaret will be kind enough to expound upon their offerings in exhausting detail when we find her. It is the building just across the plaza. Well, this doesn't bode well. Godspeed, Margaret. Here we are. I assume we'll find Margaret with our receptionist. That, I should have to explain, is an affront to common sense, but our development of Labyrinthos' infrastructure has been painstakingly rational, as befits this intellectual community. We have never shirked our duty to share the returns of our research, be they informational or monetary, and Aporia's ledgers can surely attest to the equitable distribution of such dividends. Since this rational system is designed to create a self-sustaining cycle of funding for our research, it's only logical to conclude that nothing is rotten in the state of Charlie and Hamlet. But do you know what it is, rotten Hodge? What is hastening our decay, body and soul? The God's damned chairs, Hodge. The blank, soulless walls. The complete inability to requisition anything deemed irrelevant to our research despite the abundant benefits they may provide. The sustainment of the sanity and well-being of us researchers. Tell me, is the mighty Labyrinthos bereft of wealth or compassion? I'd like to know, Hodge. When I said she was eager to share her opinions, I confess this was not what I had in mind. Margaret, would you kindly stop berating Hodge for doing his job? Berating? No, I am merely submitting a request for answers regarding systematic failures whilst offering my assessment of the situation. But now that you're here, sir, perhaps you can use your authority to remedy this latest injustice. Would that I could, Margaret. Sadly, our resources have their limits. But I assure you that our associates at Theros will continue to make every effort to ensure each request receives due consideration. Furthermore, in light of the correspondence I just received from your collaborators, you have more pressing matters to attend to. They say, and I quote, "We appreciate your concerns regarding the current schedule. Nevertheless, we wish to proceed according to initially scheduled projections. Respectfully yours, etc." Why? Why does this always happen? What about the word impossible is so difficult to comprehend? Do they think we're exaggerating, or is the air too thin at the mountaintops of privilege from which our superiors deign to issue commandments? Why is it that when we dare to hope that perhaps this time it will be different, it always ends in the same catastrophe of unlearned lessons? Do it again, but faster. Sacrifice health, hygiene, and personal happiness as you feed the furnace. Its hunger for your labor insatiable. O minion, render up your everything on the altar of glorious progress. Oh, I can't stand it anymore. Take my life, my liberty, just leave my fluffy bed. I've only just remembered its gentle caress. But no, after ripping us from the bosom of what mere comforts our servitude affords, they now expect us to bruise our buttocks upon chairs, harder than the heads of the whole form combined. Upon the slags, the greedy gill pinchers refuse to replace the grounds that are not essential for our work. Despite the cries of our lower backs for succor, mournful and ceaselessness and distracting, stifling genius and innovation. I swear to you, hearing out, that I will make you a new chair if you stop talking. Wait a moment. I've seen you somewhere before. Another Aether tanks. That's right, Aether tanks, I remember. Wait, you'd make me a chair? So in other words, you're an artisan? And a humorist too, I see. You're just as most welcome in these trying times. I doubt I was half the help to you as you would be to me, but I am prepared to impose upon your goodwill if it would yield us an ounce of respite. May I? Oh, I knew it. You exude a kindness that other people in our immediate vicinity decidedly lack. I'll get straight to the point. Our buns are sore and our backs are curled like finger shrimp. Anything to help alleviate our pains would be greatly appreciated. Cushions, massage instruments, herbal supplements, anything. Oh, and should you fear that a surplus of generosity might go to waste, no, there is no shortage of achy researchers in my laboratory, so all donations will be put to good use. Rest assured, you will be compensated with more than our growing gratitude, too. You adventuring types like those colorful scripts, don't you? Well, I have a veritable tons of them left over from the old project, so they are yours should you they bring you joy. While your gesture humbles us, I would hate to think Margaret is presuming you with her overzealousness. Are you sure this arrangement would not be an imposition? Well, it's your prerogative, and I am sure your efforts will be appreciated by all. Hodge, coordinate with the distributors of Margaret's scripts so we may establish a provisional exchange in these offices for our new partner's convenience. Understood. Ridyaki at the far desk will see that you are furnished with whatever supplies you require. Do not hesitate to make use of her services. I have other missives in need of delivery, so I shall leave you to it, but please take care not to overexert yourself. Be advised that I will hold you responsible if she does. Right. To avoid Theobaldin's wrath, why don't we start with 3 items or so? Your best material for branches in exchange for my colorful scripts. I look forward to seeing what you deliver. Okay, so this is the crafter deliveries. Before was the... Oh wait, no, this is straight... Fish is separate from gathered. Interesting. Oh, right, that's one of them non-guided quests that I avoid. How am I doing on time? What else do I have? Great. Greetings, madame. I am Deborier, a student of the nutritional scientist from Professor Galverich's research laboratory. Pray excuse me, at your service. If I'm not mistaken, you're the culinarian who's come to us by way of Qui Alipos introduction, yes? Wonderful. I would very much like to request your help with a certain, oh my. Forgive me, my stomach is not entirely at its best. Professor Galverich bid me to try a sample of a newly created comestible, you see. The taste was, well, and the texture, oh dear. Perhaps you should just experience it firsthand. One mouthful is worth 1,000 words and all that. Pray join me over at Marker's Meat and I can initiate you into the wonders of experimental foodstuffs. Thank you ever so much for coming. Let's set the table for you, shall we? On first inspection, it seems to be an ordinary loaf of bread, yes? Now try a slice. The initial flavor is like a numbness in the tip of your tongue, which gradually transitions into an overall sense of crushing emptiness. It is quite possibly the worst thing you have ever eaten. Doesn't it taste awful? When it comes to the perfect meal, flavor is irrelevant. Professor Galverche, I wasn't. Why, the very concept of gourmet cuisine has led all manner of unhealthy excess. Too much salt, too much sugar, and entirely too much fatty content is employed in the pursuit of satisfying this obsession with taste. The pana loaf we are laboring so hard to produce will contain everything necessary to sustain an adult body in one efficient, easy-consumed serving. As I said, the perfect meal. Professor, if I might introduce Bythalic, all this time wasted on idle chatter. If we are ever to attain true perfection, then every spare moment must be spent upon our research. Your task was to improve the panel of digestibility, was it not? Then let us be getting on with it. Swift, sure, efficient. You must excuse the professor brusque manner. I know he seems eccentric, but the field of nutritional science was practically built upon the foundation of that man's research. Surely you've heard of the infamous Archon loaf. It was Professor Galverchich who proposed the recipe. In any case, I do apologize for serving you such a foul-tasting creation, but I needed you to understand the gravity of the situation. Come to the last stand, and I shall offer you something to cleanse your palate while I more fully explain the issue at hand. Pray take a seat, and I shall be with you in a moment. I hope you still have an appetite. When I'm not studying, I actually work here in the kitchens, and that one there is a dish I devised myself, using all the knowledge I've acquired about food and flavor. Enjoy. I'm so glad you liked it. What you do is you take a lobster, freshly caught from the indigo deep, scoop out the meat and saute it with butter and olive oil. Next you steam in white wine, but you must take care not to overcook it at this point. You then need to stuff it back into the shell, sprinkle it liberally with thyme, oregano, and rosemary before baking in the oven at a steady heat. Not too hot, of course, and then well, whatever you did, it was delicious. My apologies. As you may have noticed, cooking is something of a passion of mine. Which brings us to my present problem, and the reason I so desperately require your assistance. It all began when agents of the forum contacted Professor Galverche, seeking to draw upon his wisdom and nutritional expertise of his research facility. Their request was simple. They wished him to invent a singular meal that could provide all the daily nutrients a person needs to survive. They expressed their intent to develop a food supply for emergencies, and thus the only condition imposed was that it be possible to prepare this miracle dish from ingredients readily available in Labyrinthos. For his part, the professor threw himself into the work with routine intensity, using Archon loaf as a base to devise a new type of bread, the most recent batch of which I inflicted upon you earlier. Archon loaf was never praised for its flavor to begin with, and it seems the more nutrients you pack into the mix, the more revolting it becomes. Some volunteers have even been known to retch up the contents of their bellies after choking down a sample. Suspecting that a difficulty with digestion was to blame, Professor Galvoche asked that I work on making our meal easier to stomach, but the fact is, it simply tastes terrible. Can you imagine if there truly was some emergency and we were forced to live on Panolof alone? People would survive, of course, but gods would they wish they hadn't. To make matters worse, the professor sees gourmet cooking as a wasteful abomination. If the Forum adopts his recipe, there is a very real chance he might champion Panolof not only as a candidate for emergency supplies, but as a new nationwide food staple. By and large, Charlanians prefer meals that are easily prepared and easily consumed over more flavorful but less time-efficient culinary efforts. Scholars busy with their research will settle for sandwiches more often than not. And that ambivalent attitude towards food is exactly why I fear this horrible bread might actually be accepted into our everyday diets. As a Charlian myself, I never had much interest in fine dining. Then I tried a dish at the last stand, and it was as if an entirely new world had opened up before me. I soon discovered that a course in nutritional science would grant access to a vast repository of information on recipes and ingredients, so I enrolled as a student at the student's faculty of medicine. But their approach to food preparation was purely academic. Utilitarian, I reasoned that if I was to learn anything about gourmet cooking, then finding employment here would be the surest route. In fact, I was on the brink of abandoning my formal studies altogether when this request came in from the Forum. As a lover of fine foods, nay, as a person with a functional tongue, I am compelled to prevent this crime against cuisine from entering society in its current form. Excuse me. Fortunately, I have the opportunity to improve the Panalof's flavor under the guise of carrying out the professor's instructions. It will, however, be exceedingly difficult to enhance the taste without sacrificing any natural value, especially considering my lack of practical experience. My theory is sound, but when it comes to technical expertise, and that, my dear culinarian, is why I need you. If you do decide to help, then please, I beg you, come and see me at Maker's Meat. Ah, there you are. Can I assume this means you wish to aid me with my panel predicament? No one else must suffer as I have. Then I gladly accept your assistance. Praise the scholar for bringing the savior in our hour of need. Oh, dear me, I just realized. How could I put you through all that and not ask your name? Well then, yo, I look forward to working with you. I need water crystals. Okay, I'm coming back here. But I'm gonna call the video here. Wait, am I? Yeah. I believe that's a Loperit's, what's it called? Society quest chain. Yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.